I know what you're thinking, you want Cloud City, right? Well, here's top 10 tips on a better hookah sesh. Coming right up. What's up world, Doc Ray with Hookah Sesh. Here is top 10 tips on getting the best hookah sesh you can do. Just 10 rules and you will have a master sesh without any of the headaches, without any of the sickness. Tip number 1, always be sure you eat before you smoke. I know people want to smoke immediately once you wake up. Let's say like you wake up, you want a morning head. Let me tell you, it is the worst feeling ever. You'll get stomach aches, you'll get a headache. It's just not good. You'll feel nauseous, not good. So my top first tip is always eat a full course meal before you smoke this wonderful shisha. Tip number 2, always clean your hookah. Do you want ghosts in your sesh? I'm pretty sure you don't. So it's always important that you always be sure you clean your hookah before you do another sesh, so it prevents the ghost flavor from the previous sesh onto your new sesh, because you don't want a ghost of flavor. No one likes ghosts. I recommend using a nice, powerful dish soap, but rinse it very, very good with water. So that way you get no hints of soap or anything with the hookah sesh. And I'm telling you guys, the difference is night and day. No ghost flavor, better hookah sesh. And from every month, try to clean your hookahs regularly. Every single month, try to brush it down with that brush. Rinse the water, soap and water, whatever you gotta do, but just be sure the hookah is nice and clean at least every month. So that way you don't get any ghosts and you don't get any bacteria or any type of no-nos you want in your hookah. Tip number 3, fire safety. I'm pretty sure you know that hookah has hot coals, which is a fire safety hazard. Don't have any flammables near your hookah or on your hookah, because then you'll start a fire, you'll have to call 911, and most likely you won't be able to smoke hookah anymore because your whole building went to ashes. So I always recommend being sure that everything flammable is away from your hookah. The only thing that should be active is the coals on top of the bowl, no more than that. I know it's kind of out of the ordinary, but safety is number 1 when doing a hookah sesh. That is another tip for you. Tip number 4, when in doubt, semi-dense. The reason why I use semi-dense pack, because most flavors is gonna smoke really freaking well when it's semi-dense. Sometimes if it's too fluffy, it gets harsh, and sometimes if it's too dense, you can't even smoke the thing without coughing your lungs out. So I usually semi-dense most of my bowls when I'm having a hookah sesh, because it's just a fail-safe pack in my opinion. Tip number 5, keep it tight. The reason why you keep it tight, because you don't want any excess air getting into the hookah when you're inhaling the smoke, because you're not going to get the dense clouds that you want. This is very, very important. Be sure that the foil is nice and drum tight. Be sure the grommet is very nicely sealed so no air gets penetrated into the hookah. Therefore, you'll have thicker clouds like this. Difference is night and day. Tip number 6, let it preheat. Why do you want it to be preheated? Well, because you want the best hookah sesh out there, and you're not going to get anywhere by just starting it as soon as you get the coals on. You got to let it preheat, especially if you have an HMD device like a Provost or a Cloud Lotus. I know some people like to hit the hookah till you get clouds. I'm guilty of doing that too, but I've noticed that you get a more cleaner hookah sesh when you just let the bowl preheat when the coals are already just fresh from the burner. Let me tell you, you'll save your lungs exponentially better than if you were just like hit it, because you're gonna get no smoke just from the first 2 minutes of smoking. You gotta let it at least preheat for 5 minutes maximum, and then take your first hit. And trust me, you will thank me later. Tip number 7, very important. Take your time. This thing is not a cigarette. It's not gonna go out. It's gonna stay heated because of the coals naturally give out the maximum amount of heat, And if you're using coconut coals, it will last a lot longer than quick lights. You don't have to always hit it every single minute, because that's how you're really gonna feel nauseous and a headache right after. So take your time. Tip number 8, hydration and ventilation. 2 most important things you must have on deck when you're smoking hookah. You gotta be sure that you're in a well ventilated area, so that way it doesn't fog up and you don't get the similar rush that you would if you were hitting it multiple times. Hydration also is key. Be sure you have a nice glass of water next to you throughout the hookah sesh, because hookah is naturally a dehydrant, so you don't want to keep on hitting it without having something to drink. Trust me, you'll thank me later. Hydration is key. You gotta be sure that you have a nice glass of water when you're doing your hookah sesh, and also be sure that you have a nice, well ventilated area. I also recommend getting an air filter. I mean, it's kind of optional, but if you want a well ventilated area, a window fan is gonna help, but an air purifier will make it a lot better. Tip number 9, don't be afraid to purge. The reason why a purge valve is on the hookah is in case you have bad smoke or overheated to where most of the harsh smoke is in the base of the hookah. You can easily purge it out by just blowing through the hose very lightly. And I can't say it anymore. Very lightly when you purge the hookah, because if you purge it too hard, the water is going to go from up the stem up to the bowl. Next thing you know, your hookah sesh is over, and no one wants that. And the last tip, number 10, enjoy it with friends. Even if you don't have friends with you right now, I'm doing a solo sesh right now, but hookah is a social smoking environment. So if you have friends around, feel free to pass the hose to the other person smoking with you, so that way you guys both enjoy a wonderful hookah sesh, and you could socially interact, talk stories, crack jokes, listen to music, do whatever you want. Just enjoy the hookah sesh with friends. My setup for today's sesh is a Dashini Holy Rainbow with a Hookah John Harmony with an apple on top Provost, 2 titanium cubettes tilted on the side, and a beautiful D-Hose resin in blue. The flavor I'm also using is Trifecta Iced Orange Mint. It is absolutely amazing. I have a review on that, even though it's a little bit old, but link down in the description for that review. So there you go. Top 10 tips for a better hookah sesh. If you like the content, give it a like, hit the subscribe button, and hit the bell so you're notified every time I make a new video. And from all my beloved hookah smokers and shisha lovers, I wish you all happy smoking, and I'll see you in the next video. Talk to you later.